Ben.
Treasurer, some decent, well, if the surveys are right, there's some decent inflation numbers out later this week. But in the sort of months ahead, are you expecting to see maybe more stubborn inflation due to the conflict in the Red Sea and the damage to supply chains?
Yeah. A couple of things about that, Ben. We have been encouraged by the fairly substantial moderation in inflation since those peaks we saw in 2022. But we know that there's still some distance to travel. We don't preempt the numbers that we get later in the week. I think in particular the monthly figure can bounce around a bit. We've seen inflation tick up in other parts of the world in recent data, and so we're not getting ahead of ourselves. The overall direction of travel is clear and welcome and encouraging, but it's not mission accomplished because people are still under pressure. What we expect to see over the course of the year is inflation to moderate further. And in the estimation of the Treasury and the Reserve Bank and other credible forecasters, we expect to see real wages growth this year. We expect to see inflation moderate further. The tax cuts will be flowing in the second half of the year if and when they pass the Parliament. And so there have been some welcome developments, but we're not getting carried away about it. We might go from the edge to the middle, so we'll go Mark and then Tom.
Treasurer, the justification for this change on tax cuts is that you found a better way. You can find a better way in a lot of policy. Are you prepared to break other promises if there are better ways, or is this one and done?
We're not contemplating other areas. And the reason that we've been so upfront about the rationale for this change in position is because it became so clear to us over the course of the summer that there was a much more effective way of delivering more relief to more people to help with the cost of living. And we know that that's politically contentious, and we're not pretending otherwise. Nor are we pretending that we didn't say the things that we have said in recent years. I pay tribute to the Prime Minister for the way that we collectively as a government have taken responsibility for this change and explained to your viewers and to the Australian people why this change was necessary and beneficial. And as the Prime Minister has said in various ways, our responsibility is to do the right thing for people, no matter what the political consequences. That's what people expect of us. We did find a better way to provide more cost of living relief to more people in a way that didn't add to inflation. And having found that better way to do it, it was our responsibility not just to announce our change in position, but to explain the reasons for it, and that's what we're doing. Tom.
So on those changes and what you announced, you spoke about the better way and the change in circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that leave what you didn't enact or what you're not going to enact in stage 3? So the changes you didn't make, are they still on the table? They might be where you move next, or are they just scrapped?
Well, we don't consider them as a piece of unfinished business. The precise tax design that Scott Morrison legislated 5 years ago, what we've shown is that our income tax policies need to keep up with the economic conditions and the budget realities. And so we're not leaving Scott Morrison's tax cuts in a drawer somewhere and hoping to put them in place at some future point. We have come up with a far superior way of returning bracket creep and delivering cost of living relief to more people. That is our tax plan that we hope to legislate. The Liberals and Nationals should stop fumbling around for pathetic excuses to oppose bigger tax cuts for Middle Australia. If they really cared about Middle Australia, they'd support bigger tax cuts for Middle Australia to help with the cost of living. We'll go Kieran and yourself.
That is Jim Chalmers there. He has just announced a new chair of the Future Fund. It comes from the Labor stable as well. Greg Combay, our viewers will know pretty well. He's had a long history in the unions and the super funds and, of course, a cabinet minister in Canberra. That's where we leave that media conference.